So I woke up and I chose violence, and I'm wearing this t-shirt right now, so then like people don't suspect. Welcome in, how are you guys all doing? So today we're gonna be doing the most anticipated weapon abomination tier list after many days. Okay, I've been trying to make this, but then it's taking time, and I thought like, well, it's a good day, it's a Monday, it's a good day to just wake up and piss people off, and here we are. So these are the weapons, we're gonna be kind of ranking them. You can all find out like episode 1, this is episode 1, and 2 is episode 3. First and the foremost, the most biased factor gonna be the feel of it. If it feels and looks good, I might put it up just so you know that the whole video just doesn't make any sense. Other than that, versatility of it, like is it really good for every single build, or can you run it with any single build? The effectiveness, like, well, can you use it against every boss, or just specifically for one boss? Speed will play a huge factor. Speed has more priority to me because I love fast. And how broken it is, and how early you can get the weapon. Like, it's a tier list for non-NG plus, okay? A normal playthrough tier list, kind of. S tier is the weapons that are really broken, really powerful, and a god tier weapon in my opinion, and through my playstyle and the way I perceive the Lies of P game. D tier is like the ineffective one. B and C tier gonna be like NPC mob shredder, kind of. The A tier gonna be excellent ones, something lacking from S tier. None of these abominations you can make it like really horrible, I feel like, because it just, you need to know how to use it. That's the thing. That's how I see it. Let's jump onto it. So starting off with Thor Hammerhead and Bramble. So this is, I think it was a technique build weapon, and I came up with this weapon when I was fighting Luxasia. Bramble comes with the Furious Slash, and you can just spam the shit out of it. Even though if you get this weapon very late in the game, like it comes with the electric grindstone, and after the, I think, patch 1.3 in Lies of P, like they made it more powerful, so you can put fire grindstone in it, and it's fast. You can spam it with Bramble, and if you have a couple of advance points, this does shit ton of damage. I actually second tried Nameless Puppet with this one in my first playthrough. Well, charged heavy of this is godly, got the range, and it will just bonk. A lot of people say like, oh well bro, it's a blunt weapon, and then you're pairing up with a slice handle, something like that. For Lies of P, for some weapons it matters, but for some it just doesn't. It also depends on the play style and the openings you were getting and stuff. But like, yeah, if you know how to use the weapon, this is really great. Like, so with my play style, it's S tier. A lot of people will be like, yeah, no, it's just not. So yeah, this goes S tier. Salamander Dagger and the Booster Glaive. So actually 0.8181 weapon. It will burn. It will burn Carcass enemies. Like, this is the weapon you can make damn early in the game. I know, like, the Salamander Dagger is a stab, Booster Glaive is slash, you lose damage, and I'm like, I'm holding Booster Glaive with Salamander Dagger. It's just a S tier weapon. If you agree, you agree. I know it's like a technique advance. Just put some technique point, some advance point, the advance cranked. It will just burn. It will just burn. Speaking of S tier weapons, I just want to add this one on the right off the bat. So this is the pipe wrench, the big wrench head with the police baton handle. I don't need to explain this one weapon, I guess. Have motivity points and advance a little bit, and motivity crank the handle. Handle comes up with critical shot chance. Range head comes up with patience smash. You can stack all the fable slots you have, energy, and convert it to a one shot. This is one of the weapons that you can just make very early in the game. Electric circular chainsaw, which you get in the Lawrence in the arcade, and the electric coil stick, which you get from the merchant in very early. It's like a weird build I did, because the electric coil stick is an advanced handle, and the weapon by itself is advanced because it comes with electric thing, and it works pretty damn well. Make sure you have more advance point, make sure you're advance cranked this weapon, and the rumble smash, the handle fable art. Like, it's not groundbreaking weapon or something, but it's a pretty damn good weapon. For now, I'm gonna put it on B. It's not a very good weapon because it just basically depends on the rumble smash, like that, you know. So speaking of electric circular chainsaw, Dilzo, he recommended me this one, electric coil chainsaw with the dancer curved sword handle. Now, gonna be a little bit controversial because you need to know how to use this weapon, otherwise it's not gonna be the best weapon. So I advanced cranked the handle, Pinaru Makaru, and you can just slash it, right? And then the electric circular chainsaw, the electric stacks up, and it does pretty damn good damage. The best part of this weapon is the guard parry. So if you don't know how to guard parry, this weapon is probably gonna be one of your B tier or C tier weapon. But if you are a technique advanced build and you know how to guard parry, this is a S tier weapon for me. I'm not a big fan of the electric chainsaw blade fable art. I don't really like that. I said I'm biased towards the feel of it, and this is just one of the weapons I just really admire. Sleep weapon 1.0. Salamander dagger with exploding pickaxe handle. Motivity advanced weapons. Either you can motivity crank it, but personally I advanced crank it and spam it. The handle comes up with conserve energy, which combined with pace and amulet, probably put it to A weapon because it still doesn't do much damage. So speaking of exploding pickaxe handle, like butcher blade with exploding pickaxe handle. So this is if you know, you know, this is a S tier weapon. For I'll be riding with my love beside me, just as happy as can be. The reason it's just S tier because despite of being it's a motivating weapon, this is the fastest weapon overall. The butcher blade comes up with a thing called conserve energy. Handle comes up with conserve energy. So they kind of complements each other, and combining it with the patience amulet and arm of god and all this amulet, like that just makes it really good. And you can just spam it. You can just, like, I think spam 28 times before the stamina runs out. Well, you have 20 stamina, vigor point, and this is the S tier weapon. So if motivity crank this handle, put a fire or like acid grindstone, and the Luxasia is deleted. The closest you can find is Bramble curved sword blade with the exploding pickaxe handle. It has more range than that one, but at the same time this consumes more stamina, but also comes up with the bramble slash. I'm not gonna say this is the S tier, it's not like that, but it definitely deserves somewhere like B maybe. I don't know, because like depends on your playstyle. I'll just put it B tier. Carcass blade with the exploding pickaxe handle. I'm just gonna say that I'm not qualified enough to talk about this weapon because I never personally put much hours on this weapon, but as far as I used the motivity advanced weapon, crystal axe blade has the fabular, and then it will have that effect on it, and you can just spam it. I mean, it actually can land like, as far as I know, that if you have a good motivity point and a little bit of advance, this weapon can actually smash through like, I would put it like on A tier. The reason I put it to A tier because again it has more advance to it, more opportunities. So overall it's a good weapon, you know. Next one, electric coil stick with the salamander dagger. Way back when I was doing the level 10 run, the thing that makes it really amazing is the charged heavy. Technique advanced weapon. Advance crank it can make this weapon pretty damn early in the game. Electric coil stick. I'm not a big fan of the dagger handle. Takes like you 2 favor slot for it, and I feel like it's way expensive than it does. So I would put it on the A category. It has the potential to be on the B category. But the reason I put it because you can make it pretty early in the game, and it's fast. Puppet saber blade with baton handle. It's like the weapon you can make pretty early in the game. And this is not something that is broken weapon. Genuinely a overall good weapon, and its dagger is really fast. You can just spam the charged heavy. At some scenarios it doesn't do much damage, but then if you applied grindstone, and then if you're like a motivity advanced build or even a technique advanced build and you crank it accordingly, you can get pretty good damage out of it. So I'm just gonna put it on the A tier. The reason I put it on the A tier because you can make it damn early in the game and you can use it till like even the final boss area. This is what I call a Minecraft torch, salamander dagger and the wrench handle. It just feels good. It comes up with I think basin slash, but then at the same time it doesn't do much damage. I like how it looks like. I like the animation of the charged attack. And I'm just gonna put it to C because but then I beat Archbishop with it in my first playthrough. Yeah, this is the Light Puppet X blade with Master Chef handle. This is godly. This is one of the godly weapons. Furious Slash, so you can just hold the Fable button and you can just spam it, taking advanced build and have advanced point. Put a grindstone on this thing, the Puppet X, and just
I'm gonna smash you to pieces!
Oi, might. Sleep. The only problem of me with this weapon is the normal attacks are slow because the blade is heavy. The charged attack, you need to do it right. It doesn't have any range, it just like goes. Comes with the multi-hit. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. But other than that, it just doesn't stop me from making it a S tier weapon. It's do a technique, advanced build, then put grindstone on it, and just hold the Furious Slash and see how it does. It's crazy. Thor Hammerhead with the police baton. Motivity crank the handle. Turn on the critical shot chance or whatever you call it of the baton handle, and you just bonk it. And it can pretty much stun a lot of enemies. Again, normal movesets I'm not a big fan of because they are slow. I'm gonna put it to I think A tier is pretty okay. Speaking of baton handle, bone saw blade with the baton. You get the bone saw in the Malum district and you get the baton very early in the game. So you can make this very early in the game, and if you are a motivity build, this is really good. Not a big fan of the link chop of the bone saw. Painfully slow. Well, technically you can wait for the opening and make it useful. For me and my playstyle, I'm not a big fan of it, but I have seen people running this thing with actually smashing, and even in the main playthrough, put a grindstone on it, turn on the handle, and can absolutely like, go like do the bonk stagger, bonk like kind of like that, and I call it a B class weapon. I don't know. I totally get it. This can be a S tier weapon combo, or maybe at least a A tier weapon combo. I'm just gonna put it that way. And also this one. This is the Great Sword of Fate with baton handle again. Now the same concept as this, but the Great Sword of Fate Fable, the Blade Fable art is. I love this. God tier, like obviously, you know, in compared to the bone saw, the Great Sword of Fate blade art is really good and is fast, and parry feels really responsive when you use this build for some reason. I don't know. I put it A tier. It goes A tier. The reason it's not B tier because obviously the Fable art is so good. So we were talking about the bone saw, right? Bone saw blade with the bramble fable art. So both you get in the Malum district. The main selling point of this weapon is it has a good damage reduction rate, and the charged heavy, the stagger attack of the bramble, you can take it from far away. Like, dude, I really like it. Put a grindstone on, and you can just pretty much Furious Slash the shit out of it. Oh, there we go, we got him. I can see people using this weapon even on the final boss, I feel like. So it's a A tier, I can put it. Also because you can make it pretty early on the game. Let's do a couple of crits. Starting off with the Tyrant Murderer's Dagger and the Blind Man's Spear handle. The crit build is crazy. The uncharged heavy, even the charged heavy can block even the red attacks. Which is insane, and you can just show any boss with it. Like, really you can show Sasia with it. Is not the equip Assassin's Amulet. You keep Arm of God Amulet. generalized way, it might be a A tier weapon, but as I know how to parry and I know how to use it, it's gonna be S tier weapon right off the bat. And also you can make it pretty early in the game. Speaking of that, there is another combo that is the Salamander Dagger and Blind Man Spear. Same everything, but for this one, as it's like a fire obviously, the Tyrian Murderous Dagger is less heavy than the Salamander Dagger, which makes it a little bit like slower than that, but still it's really fast. But for this you need to be like a technique advanced build, advanced crank this Blind Man Spear handle and just shove it. This is just straight up goes to A. For me, the way I use it's fair. Okay, so let's do with the range head with the booster glaive. Now this is right off the bat, I was really weird about the weapon because it's just painfully slow and it takes good amount of stamina. But when you just actually see the potential of it, it's really good.
Mati! Mati! Porra!
Combined of pace and slash and pace and smash. Go for a motivity build, motivity crank the booster glaive handle. You can make it pretty early in the game. I'm personally bothered by it because I find it annoyingly slow, right? And after playing Elden Ring, I kind of like changed up my mind about slow. Like, if you think that this is slow, bro, you can make a whole family by the time you take a heal in Elden Ring. So I'll put it to S tier. It's like, it's between somewhere A and S, but I would put it to S tier because if you are a motivated build, this is like one for you. It's just perfect. The range with the dancer curved handle. Now, as you know already by this point, like the base and smash is kind of OP, but like if you combine it with the dancer curved sword handle, it's kind of pretty okay, you know. It's probably gonna be like either B or C if its range is really heavy in comparison to the handle. That makes it kind of imbalanced. It makes it slow. Slow means like in a weird way slow according to my playstyle. Like I should put it to A. I'm sorry, I'm putting it B. This is the range head with fire axe handle. I really like the axe handle charged heavy because it has shit ton of range to it, because you just go run and you just bonk it. Go, yep. So the handle is pretty okay. You know what? I don't know. I'm just gonna put it to B tier, you know. The reason I'm not putting it to C tier of this because you know, with I think for a motivate, if you motivate crank it and for a motivated build, this can do shit ton of damage than this. Let's get back to the crit. So this is the weapon. This is like city long spear with the Tyrantor daggers. Might be one of the best weapon for the crit builds because it has huge range to it. So, and after shoving it, he just comes back and you can just spam that, and while combining it with the assassin's amulet and some arm of god probably and stuff, you can just go crazy with it. Turn on the daggers fable art, the grind. You turn on the handles fable art, grind. I would have put it to A tier. I would have, but just because it's fast, it feels good, and I'm gonna be biased, and so I have to put it S tier. Because can't go wrong with crit, you know. For this one, the Tyrian Murder Dagger with a pistol rock drill is crazy. It's crazy. You can just spam the freaking handle fable art of this, or you can just hold it like joof, joof. It's pretty fucking cursed, but it's really good. It's fast. It's good. I'm confused on this one. I'm not gonna put it to S tier. For me, I'm gonna put it to A tier, kind of. For some people, this might be S tier, kind of, but that's that. The city long spear handle with the rapier blade. The damage reduction rate of this rapier blade is 31, so if you miss it, it's gonna hurt a lot. But other than that, it's a very fast weapon. It has huge range to it. You can just like shove it from far away, and it's a storm stab. Is insanely like it has the stagger, and you know what, let's do this. I'm gonna put it to B tier because even though it has a good speed for NPC killer, it's really good NPC killer weapon, but for the bosses it's not the best one, right? If you just come to this weapon, which is a rapier blade with the booster glaive, the fastest weapon, and you can just spam it. It's just crazy. There we go. You can just spam the booster glaive charged heavy from far away, and Oh shit! You can just dodge with it. You can just spam with it. The pace and slash doesn't do much of a job like if you hold it, but it does a good job like when you just ran out of stamina. So you you can do like continuous damage on it. So for a lot of people, rapier is a stab weapon and the thing is a slashing, right? So then it goes to like ineffective D tier. The weapon damage is terrible. I totally get, but just because it's the fastest weapon, it all the way goes to A tier. If I know the damage is terrible for this weapon, but then it feels so responsive like Sekiro. For me, for my playthrough, I would put it there. Oh, as we were talking about being fast, let's talk about Puppet X and Booster Glaive Handle. Put a grindstone on it and just like the charged heavy from the range, damage is insane if you're motivated to crank this thing up. And the pace and slash, I like that. I'll put it to A tier. So for me, it's a A tier. The other weapon that goes same like this is the Thor Hammerhead with Booster Glaive. Again, it is slow for my pace, but if you are a motivity build and if you motivity crank it, it's like another bonk weapon, The damage is crazy, the damage reduction rate is amazing, you can do it from far away. So, after all this combination, I'll put it to A tier. Because just even though I kind of feel weird about it, at some point, we will see about it. That's that. Speaking of Thor Hammerhead, Cursed Knight Halberd Handle with Thor Hammerhead. Now, this weapon, the first time I saw it, was like... But like when you see the handle fable art, it has guard parry, and that changed the whole game. Haha. And let the electric of the coil hammerhead do all its job, and then you just do like for those attacks, those thirst attack, you just do guard parry. For the non-guard parry people, that probably gonna be C tier or B tier, I don't know. But for me, I'm just gonna put it to A tier for now. Let's see how it goes. You need to learn the guard parry to use it properly. This is the last weapon I'm a little bit confused really about. The Dancer Curved Sword blade with the Bramble handle. Now, right off the bat, Bramble handle kind of makes everything really good because you can just spam it. On the other hand, the Dancer Curved blade have this ability to like use 2 Fable slot to get back. I think you can just use the Bramble like charged heavy attack to get back to it. I would have put it to I think B tier because the damage wise it does pretty good damage, and if you are a technique advanced build and you put fire grindstone on it and you do with it, it can go really crazy and stuff. But like I'm not a big fan of the blade fable art, but you can just run it for like the whole game and you get it very early. That makes it A tier right off the bat. I just don't care. It feels good, it looks good, it is good. On the other hand, we have the pistol rock drill with the spear of honor. Bro, this is a screwdriver. And it's like a crit build, just drill through it. Well, the normal attack are very like slow, but you can drill through it, so it's A tier. Like, for the crit. Thor hammer handle with the Puppet X. Now, this weapon, if you're a motivated build, this is really good. There are a couple pros and cons with it. I'm gonna put it to the A category. Motivity crank it, I think it goes like motivity S or something, motivity A or S, something like that. So it does shit ton of damage, man. It does shit ton of damage. The stagger does so much damage, and with a little bit of, if you have advanced point, if you grindstone it, crazy. And the main weird point about this weapon was when you assemble this weapon, you barely can see some enemies. It messes with your vision. Fable art absolute defense to get away with it, but that's it. But I don't mind being slow because you can have a great workflow, but the reason it's not S tier because you get it very late in the game, and if you use the stagger grindstone with it, it does stagger a lot. So definitely A tier. Speaking of that same thing, we got the Thor hammer acid blade, right? I can see why and how you can make this weapon work, but as I put this Puppet X with this one at A tier, I need to put it to B tier. So if you're a motivity advanced build, you can pull up some good damage with it, and then it comes with absolute defense with the handle, and this weapon can go to A tier. But not really big fan of the acid splash. You get this abomination very later in the game, which makes it even down like C. But when you compare it with this, no, it's not as bad as this one. So we're just gonna put it to D. This one is D. and this one is C now. Yeah, that's a good change now. So now the C tier have its own niche and definition. The Great Sword of Fate and the Clock Sword handle. Now, most of the people be like, what is this? But, you know, it's actually really good. This comes with a taunt kind of thing, which might be surprisingly for a lot of people like, oh, what is that and stuff. But it does actually work pretty well if you just ignore that. The Great Sword of Fate has amazing fable art, and one of the reasons I love this thing because it's light attacks and it's charged heavy attacks. They kind of complement each other, kind of, I think. So I'm gonna put it to B tier. It's not something that can be A tier. Maybe you can make it work to make it A tier, but I will put it to B tier. Acid Blade with Booster Glaive, and as I said before, the Acid Blade, you get it very far in the game. That blade does do a lot of damage. Is it a S tier weapon? No, not at all. Is it an A tier weapon? Probably should belong to A tier list, right? But I'm gonna put it to B tier list because you get the acid at the very last of the game. But for the NG plus runs, this will look totally different, you know. So the same with the Bone Saw with the Booster Glaive. You make it very early in the game, and this is good weapon. This is actually a good weapon, but I have no idea where to put it, to be honest. Is it a S tier weapon? It probably be S tier for a lot of people. Is it a A tier weapon? Well, A tier has this Thor Hammerhead with this one, which does even more damage, and then I like the fable art of the Hammerhead than this fable art, the Link Chop, that is painfully slow. So does it belong to C tier? Nope, but the only reason I would put it to B more than C because you get it very early on the game and it's a good weapon overall for the motivated builds. Here we got Exploding Pickaxe with Bone Saw. Well, this is a motivated weapon. This is slow and I can see people using this weapon totally, the Bone Saw with the Exploding Pickaxe handle. But honestly, for me, I don't really am a big fan of this weapon. Totally agreeing that you can actually motivated crank the thing, you can be a motivated build and you can use the Bone Saw and it will do shit ton of damage, kind of, even in the final area of the game. For the normal first playthrough, even though you get this weapon very early, I'll put it to C because it's slow. And yeah, here comes our last one. This is the Shovel Handle with the Bone Saw. Now, Shovel Handle comes with the altar, which makes the Bone Saw really big. So by a characteristic way, this is the longest abomination you can make. Like, you can have more range, and totally get it. You can just switch between it, and you can just like switch it on, and you can get a stagger from far away. I'll put it to C. It has a potential to be A or B kind of tier. I want to do couple changes. So if you compare between these two, Crystal one and Exploding Pickaxe handle with the fire one, you can spam it, you can burn, and it's fast. So that's how it has more priority to be on A than B. On the other hand, this is low, you cannot spam it. You get it very late on the game, so I'm gonna put it to B tier, kind of like, because it's, you know what? When I look at these categories like here, I will put this one to like A tier. This is a really good weapon actually. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's the tier list so far. After each of the Abomination series, I'm gonna put it on this tier list map, or if I make any changes, I will just do it. For now, this is the final result, it looks like. Do you agree on it? Probably not. Okay, I think I did a pretty good job. I made this whole thing on Photoshop and stuff. If you want to have it on some tier list website or something, if you want this template or something, you can let me know in the comments. I will try to make it. That is it. This video is kind of scuffed, but anyways, I did what I did with the best of my knowledge and the best of my playthrough and the best of logical parameters I put myself to rank these ones. So thanks for watching. Previously I was insecure about saying the word subscribe, but now we're very close to 1K subscribers. That will mean a lot. But anyways, thank you so much for each and everybody who supported through these years, through this months, and we have like 780 subscribers. Bro, remember we started with, like, when I started making these videos, I was like 150 or 60 something when I started making Lies of P videos. We're at 700. Holy shit. Good night, good luck, take care, and keep yourself alive. You got this, man. It's gonna be alright. Just gotta spend some time, go through it. It's gonna be alright. And my voice when I start. I see. 07.